Here's the thing nobody tells you when you go out on your own. The most dangerous seat in the room is the one you're sitting in alone. This record is about the chairs you haven't filled yet. Your advisory board, play each track until the idea clicks, then move on. The next track always builds on what you just locked in. Let's go. They talk about the board when the logo's on a tower, when the stockholders are circling and the lawyers bill by hour. But you're sitting at a folding desk at 2:15, thinking every single ceiling in this building's up to you. You've got the vision and the hunger and the nerve to make it real, but a blind spot doesn't warn you, it just shows up in the deal. The sharpest blade still needs a whetstone. That's not weakness, that's the craft. Every ship that crossed an ocean had a crew to work the aft. Empty chairs, empty chairs. A corporation's got a board because the stakes demand a check. You've got the same stakes, smaller margin, nowhere near as thick a neck. One bad pivot, one blind angle, one conch that you missed. A solo founder feels that harder. You don't have the safety net. So this isn't about prestige, it's not a vanity parade. It's a pressure test, a mirror, and a debt before it's made. It's someone who has been where you are standing, burned and learned, asking questions that you haven't thought to ask for what you've earned. Empty chairs, empty chairs. You don't have to fill the room, but you gotta know they're there. Brains around a table that you didn't have to hire. Solo doesn't mean alone, it means you build it higher. Empty chairs, now it's time to pull them in. Not a team, not a partner, not a coach, you pay by session. An advisor is the person who asks the harder question. Who's been 3 steps past where you're standing? Who can smell it when it's soft? Who will tell you when the plan is soft? You went out alone, that was brave. Now build the board, that's the move. Empty chairs don't have to stay that way. The last track landed the idea. You need a board, but before we build it, we need to clear something up. Because most people muddy this immediately. An advisor's not a mentor, not a coach, not a business partner, not your smartest friend. Confuse those roles and you'll wreck the relationship. This got a mentor. She calls on a Sunday, checks you're fine. She built something similar once, but she don't need to draw the line. She's generous, she's warm, she's got no stake in your next move. That's a gift, not a capture, a different kind of groove. You got a coach you're paying, he asks how you feel inside. He's good at holding space for you, he helps you with your stride. But he's working off your answers and he's not ahead of you. An advisor's been there, done it, that's a different residue. They are not the same. They are not the same. Give each role its own lane, or you'll muddy up the game. An advisor's not a partner, no equity, no chair. They come in when you need them, and they give it straight and rare. Not your coach, not your cheerleader, not the friend who tells you yes. The one who asks the question that reveals the thing you missed. A partner's in it daily, and she's got skin in the fight. She carries half the burden, and she's there at dead of night. An advisor's not that, she's not grinding in the weeds. She shows up for the meeting, and she sharpens what you need. And your smart friend from college, yeah, he means well every time. But meaning well and knowing well don't always fit the rhyme. He'll validate the version of the plan you wanna hear. An advisor will push back, that's the reason they are here. They are not the same. They are not the same. Give each role its own lane, or you'll muddy up the game. An advisor's not a partner, no equity, no chair. They come in when you need them, and they give it straight and rare. Not your coach, not your cheerleader, not the friend who tells you yes. The one who asks the question that reveals the thing you miss. No salary, no daily grind, no share of what you own. The relationship is clean because the boundaries are known. You honor what they bring you, and they give it without strings. Mix the roles and watch how fast resentment starts to sting. Mentor, coach, partner, friend. We know what an advisor is and what they're not. Now the question is who, not names yet shapes. What perspectives does your table need? A board built from people who all think like you is just an echo chamber with better lighting. This track is about the geometry of the table, what angles you actually need in the room. Don't recruit your mirror, that's a waste of every chair. You need the ones who see the angles you can't see from there. One who scaled a business past the place where you are now. One who knows the customer you're chasing, knows them how. One who understands the numbers when the numbers turn strange. Not to do your books, to read the signals out of range. One who's built a thing adjacent, different sectors, same terrain. They'll bring the pattern recognition that you'd otherwise not gain. Shape the table, four perspectives beats a room for who all sound the same. Operate the customer, the analyst, the scout. Diversity of lens is what this whole thing's about. Shape the table, build the room you need. You know. The operator's been in the engine room and knows the grind. The customer proxy speaks for those you're trying hard to find. The financial lens reads the numbers like a second tongue. The scout's the one who sees the trend before the song is sung. You don't need 10, you need the 4 that fill the gaps you've got. Quality of angle beats the quantity, a lot. A board of 2 sharp people beats a crowd of friendly noise. This isn't about optics, it's about the signal, not the voice. Shape the table, 4 perspectives beats a room for who all sound the same. Operate the customer, the analyst, the scout. Diversity of lens is what this whole thing's about. Shape the table, build the room you need. Oh. challenge your belief, not to obstruct you to stress test before the grief. The hardest chair to fill is for the one who says not yet. But that's the seed that saves you from a very costly bet. Financial lens, sector scout the challenger, map the gaps, then build toward them. Ooh. The last track gave you the shape, the roles, the angles, the lens types you need. Now get concrete, what does the right person actually look like up close? Because the wrong advisor, charming, credentialed, bad fit is worse than an empty chair. This track is about reading people before you invite them in. You want the one who asks before they answer, listens to the room, who doesn't need to be the smartest voice to feel the bloom, who's led something real, not just consulted, not just wrote the book, who's had the skin and felt the sting and learned to take a look. They should be a chapter ahead of you, not 20 years removed, too far out in the advisor's theory, not the groove you move. The best advisor for your stage is just survive the part. You're about to walk into that proximity is art. Not the loudest, not the flashiest name upon the wall, the one who shows up curious and doesn't need to call, who checks in between the meetings cause they're actually engaged, who remembers where you started and the battles that you staged. That's who you're looking for. That's the seed. Ooh, oh. Red flag, the one who only speaks in frameworks, never facts, who validates your every plan and never pushes back, who's always just available, no cost of their own time. That kind of frictionless agreement isn't worth a dime. Red flag, the one who wants the equity before the ask, who treats the advisor role like a consulting mask, who name drops their own clients every time you need a word, who makes them meet and bow them, you go home unheard. Not the loudest, not the flashiest, they name upon the wall, the one who shows up curious and doesn't need to call, who checks in between the meetings cause they're actually engaged, who remembers where you started and the battles that you staged. That's who you're looking for. That's the seed. Generous but honest, that's a rare and useful thing. They'll tell you when the plan is broken without pulling the sting. Energized by your success, not threatened by your eyes. That's the quality you're looking for behind the qualified eye. Proximity to your stage, engage, willing to push back, generous without needing to be the story. That's the profile. You got the profile, you know the shape, you know the signals. Now comes the moment most founders stall on, actually making the ask. Not because they don't know who to approach, but because they don't know what to say. This track gives you the language, simple, direct, no cringe. Don't lead with flattery and hope they read between the lines. Don't make them guess your meaning through a paragraph of science. Say what you're building, say where you're stuck, say why the lens fits here. Make the ask specific, that's the thing they wanna hear. I'm building X, I'm at the stage, I'm facing this terrain. Your background and why is exactly what I need to gain. I'm not asking for a partner, not a coach, not daily time. One conversation quarterly, would that suit your line? Make it clean, make it simple, make the boundaries plain. Here's the thing, here's the ask, here's what you stand to gain. Respect their time before they've given you a single hour. A precise and humble ask is how you find your power. Make the ask, that's the move. Offer
something back before they ask what's in it for them. Not equity, not money, access, input, problem. Some advisors want the challenge, some wanna see you win. Some want a front row seat to what you're building from within. Send a note, the message or the email, keep it short. 3 paragraphs to state the case and ask for their support. If they say not now, not ever, that's a clean and honest door. If they say let's talk, you got your foot upon the floor. Make it clean, make it simple, make the boundaries plain. Here's the thing, here's the ask, here's what you stand to gain. Respect their time before they've given you a single hour. A precise and humble ask is how you find your power. Make the ask, that's the move. The worst they say is no, and no is information too. It sharpens what you need and points you somewhere closer to the truth. Don't rehearse rejection, just rehearse the words instead. The ask you never make is the only one you should have said. Specific, bounded, generous, direct. 3 paragraphs, send it.
You made the ask, they said yes. Now don't waste it. The #1 reason advisory relationships go cold is a badly run meeting. Vague meandering, no clear output. The advisor leaves feeling like they didn't actually help. This track installs the structure that keeps them engaged, keeps the conversation sharp and makes them wanna come back. Send the brief before the meeting, 2 pages, maybe 1. What's changed since last you spoke? What's lived, what's stuck, what you've done? 3 questions you need answered, not 20, not a flood. Arrive prepared and they arrive prepared, that's in the blood. Open with the update, 60 seconds where you stand, and hand them the first question, let them think before they land. Or fill the silence with your own thoughts, that's their slot. The pause before an advisor speaks is where the gold is got. Run it clean, run it tight, get a meeting in shape. Update, 3 questions, action, that's the format, no escape. Close with what you're taking, close with thanks, that's specific, not a vague. This was great, make the gratitude terrific. Run the meeting, make it worth their time. Don't just come with problems, bring what you've already tried. An advisor who sees you thinking can advise from inside. After every session, send a note, here's what I heard, here's what I'm doing with it. Just a paragraph, a word, that follow through is everything. It proves the loop is closed, it shows the time they gave you didn't land and then just froze. Advisors stay engaged with founders who engage with what they give. The meeting's not the product, it's what happens while you live. Run it clean, run it tight, give the meeting a shape. Update, 3 questions, action, that's the format, no escape. Close with what you're taking, close with thanks, that's specific, not a vague. This was great, make the gratitude terrific. Run the meeting, make it worth their time. Oh, quarterly is standard, some relationships need more. Feel the cadence by the stage you're in and what's in store. But never ghost your boy because you're stuck, that's when you call them. Messy middle meeting is the most important one of all. Brief before, 3 questions and specific thanks after. Close the loop, they'll stay. You've been learning how to get value from this relationship. Now flip it, what do you owe them? When there's no contract, no salary, no equity, the only thing holding this together is whether they feel it's worthwhile. This track is about your side of the deal, the reciprocity that makes advisors stay. There's no invoice for the hour, no contract in the drawer. So what keeps someone coming back to help you through the war? It's not the equity you might not give, it's not the fee, it's whether they feel seen and whether you let their words be
use what they gave you. That's the first thing. Use it loud, report back what you did with it. Don't bury it in a crowd. Nothing stings an advisor more than advice that disappears. Nothing keeps them more engaged than watching what you steer. Show your work, close the loop. Let them see the thing they built. Gratitude without the evidence is compliment and guilt. Think of what you know they need. A contact or a door. Reciprocity isn't payment, it's just giving back some more. What you owe them is the loop. Send them things of value, not to trade, but just because. An article that hits their world, a pattern that it draws. Remember they have things they're building. Ask about their own. The relationship that only flows one way dies alone. And when you win the contract, the client, the breakthrough you've been chasing, tell them first before the announcement, before the social placing. Let them feel the outcome of the counsel that they gave. That moment is the reason that the best advisors stay. Show your work, close the loop. Let them see the thing they built. Gratitude without the evidence is compliment and guilt. Think of what you know they need. A contact or a door. Reciprocity isn't payment, it's just giving back some more. What you owe them is the loop. Honesty is owed as well. When the plan they back went wrong, tell them that before you tell the people who will sing your song. An advisor who is trusted with the failure as the win will give you their most valuable intelligence from within. Use the advice, close the loop. Tell them first when you win. That's the contract.
The last track was about reciprocity, what you owe them. This one is about something equally important, what you keep. Because there's a version of this advisory board idea that goes wrong. The founder who outsources every decision, who needs consensus before they move, who loses the instinct that made them start in the first place. Your board sharpens your judgment, it doesn't replace it.
They don't run the business, you run the business, that's still yours. They stand outside the building, you're the one who walks the floors. Their job is to refine the signal, cut the noise, reveal the grain. Your job is to take that input and to step back in the lane. When four advisors split four ways, you don't flip a coin. You weigh the strongest argument, you see where lines can join. Then you make the call because the call was always yours to make. That's not arrogance, that's the deal for your own business sake. The seat at the head was always yours, don't give it up in fear. Use the wisdom in the room, but keep your own instrument clear. A ball that overwhelms the founder hasn't served the goal. The sharpest outside voice still answers to the captain of the whole. Your seat, your call, your company. Indecision dressed as consultation is a different trap. Use a route, ask the board to stall the thing you're scared to map. Your advisors will see through it, they've all been in that spot. The courage to decide with good input is exactly what they've got. So hit them, pressure test your thinking, let the friction do its work. Then step forward, not sideways, not backwards with a smirk. A founder who is built a board and uses it to grow is sharper, faster, steadier, that's the only thing to know. The seat at the head was always yours, don't give it up in fear. Use the wisdom in the room, but keep your own instrument clear. A board that overwhelms the founder hasn't served the goal. The sharpest outside voice still answers to the captain of the whole. Your seat, your call, your company. Your seat, your call, your company. Don't outsource, pressure test, don't defer. The advisor brings the question, you're the one who stirs. You built this from a blank page with no roadmap and no net. The the board is the upgrade, not the replacement. Don't forget their input, your call. Every time.
The last track reminded you, your seat, your call. Now here's a call that most founders never prepare for. The decision to change the board itself. Advisors who are perfect at year one may not be right at year 3. The board should grow with the business, knowing when to rotate is not disloyal, it's the job. The advisor who saved you at the start, the one who saw the seed, may not be the one who reads the room for what you're gonna need. Their chapter in your story was a real and vital one, but chapters have an ending. That's what makes a story run. Watch for when the conversations start to loop on familiar ground. When you know the answer they'll give before the question's found. When the blind spot you once brought them has been long since closed and learned, that's the signal that the seat needs someone new, has more to turn. Rotate with respect, rotate with care. The board that built the first year isn't always the board that's there. Honor what they gave you, name the season that has passed. A board that never changes is a board that's built to last too fast. Change the chairs, that's growth. Have the honest conversation, don't just ghost or let it fade. Tell them where you're heading and the different expertise you've weighed. Most advisors who are good will understand the stage shift clean. They've done this enough to know what we've outgrown the need can mean. And some relationships evolve, advisor becomes something else. A reference, a collaborator pulling books down off the shelf. The board is not a lifetime contract, it's a present moment tool. Adapt the tool to fit the moment. That's the sharpest kind of school. Rotate with respect, rotate with care. The board that built the first year isn't always the board that's there. Honor what they gave you, name the season that has passed. A board that never changes is a board that's built to last too fast. Change the chairs, that's growth. Review the board each year, same rigor as the plan. Ask who do I need now at this stage on this terrain. The answer may be the same names, or it may be brand new. Either way you made the call, that's what a founder does. Review annually, change when the stage demands it. Honor what was given, keep moving. You made it through the whole arc. Empty chairs to a room you built with intention. This final track doesn't add a new idea, it consolidates all of them. Let it land, let the sequence connect, and when it's done you'll know exactly what your first move is. You started with the idea that solo doesn't mean alone. You learn the difference between the roles so boundaries are known. You shaped the table operator, customer, analyst, scout. You built the profile of the person worth inviting out. You wrote the ask, specific, clean, respectful of their time. You learned to run the meeting so the conversation climbs. You held your side, the follow through, the loop, the win you shared. You kept the seat at the head, your judgment stayed declared. This is the room you built, not borrowed, not on loan, not a corporate fantasy. It's yours and yours alone. Four sharp minds around the questions that you couldn't solve by sight. Solo doesn't mean alone, it means you chose to build it right. This is the room you built. And when the business shifts and the stage demands new eyes, you'll rotate with respect and let the old chapter rise. Because the board is not a monument, it's a living, breathing thing. It moves when you move, sharpens when you sharpen, grows with everything. The largest companies have known this since before the age of screen. But a solo founder needs it more, you're carrying all the seams. No safety net of teams, no floor of second guess or calls. Just you and the advisors in the room before the next door falls. This is the room you built, not borrowed, not on loan, not a corporate fantasy. It's yours and yours alone. Four sharp minds around the questions that you couldn't solve by sight. Solo doesn't mean alone, it means you chose to build it right. This is the room you built. You went out alone, and that took everything you had. Now the chairs are filled with people who have been where it got bad, who came back anyway and built the thing and lived to tell the frame. And they're sitting at your table because you made the ask and came. Empty chairs were never the destination. This is the board you built. Go fill the room.